Hey, have you ever gotten home, looked at something you just bought, and thought to yourself, wait, why did I actually buy that? It happens to all of us. We love to think we're these super logical shoppers, but today we're diving deep into the powerful, kind of hidden force that's really guiding our decisions, our emotions. So let's pull back the curtain and find out why we really truly buy. Our first things first, we've got to bust a huge myth. For the longest time, the whole field of economics was built on this idea that we're all rational shoppers. Like we're little robots, carefully weighing the pros and cons of every single purchase. But modern science, especially neuroscience, tells a completely different story, and it's a story that marketers know very well.
I mean, really think about it for a second. When you're standing in a store aisle or you're scrolling online, who's actually calling the shots? Is it your logical brain? Or is there something else, something a little more primal, pulling the strings? The truth is, our feelings have way more control than we ever give them credit for.
So you can kind of see it as this battle going on inside our heads. We tell ourselves, and everyone else, that we operate from this left column. The rational brain. We care about logic, features, price, all that sensible stuff. But study after study shows it's the right column, the emotional heart, that's really in the driver's seat. Feelings, stories, our sense of identity, and pure impulse, they almost always win.
So what are we even talking about with consumer emotions? Well, they're basically the feelings and vibes that just pop up instantly when we see a product or interact with a brand. The keyword here is spontaneously. This isn't a conscious choice, it's a gut reaction. And those gut reactions are what directly shape what we do next, like clicking buy now.
Now, if emotions are this powerful, you can bet that marketers are not just leaving them up to chance. Oh no, they have a strategy. And we can think of it like an emotional toolkit. It's got two simple goals, either pull you closer to a brand or give you a little push to make a decision, fast.
And here it is, the toolkit laid right out for us. On the one hand, you've got the positive stuff that attracts us. Feelings like joy and trust, they build real loyalty. And nostalgia? That creates a super deep, familiar bond. But marketers also use the other side of the coin. Fear, especially the fear of missing out, FOMO, creates this intense urgency. Even guilt can nudge us toward buying a product that promises to make us feel better. It's this brilliant strategic game of emotional push and pull.
Okay, so how do brands actually put this toolkit into action? This is where we get into the real playbook. The specific tactics and moves companies use to tap into our feelings and, well, shape our behavior.
The real secret here, the reason this all works so well, is that these emotional appeals have a way of completely sidestepping our logical brain. It's like they have a backdoor entrance. They target our subconscious, triggering feelings that lead directly to an impulse decision, all before we've even had a chance to really think it through.
And one of the most powerful plays in that book? Nostalgia. For sure, brands know that feelings from our past create this immediate visceral connection. Just think about Miller Lite bringing back its 70s can, or the return of the classic VW Beetle, or when Cadbury resurrected that beloved Wispa chocolate bar. Come on, these aren't just products, they're little time machines. But it's not just about digging up the past. It's about crafting a really compelling story right here in the present. This quote absolutely nails it. When a brand story hits us on an emotional level, it doesn't just sell us a product. It makes us want to go out and tell that story to other people. We become their best advertisers. And the best brands, they are absolute masters of storytelling. Ray-Ban's Never Hide campaign wasn't just selling sunglasses. It was selling an identity, an attitude of being cool and confident. Kotex built a ton of trust by creating the supportive online community. And Apple, they made the iPod a cultural icon by weaving it directly into the fabric of modern music and culture.
So this all sounds incredibly powerful, right? But how in the world do companies know if it's actually working? Okay, let's shift gears for a minute and look at the surprisingly scientific and kind of wild ways that businesses are measuring our feelings.
Turns out they measure this stuff on 4 main levels, and each one gets a little more sophisticated. It starts pretty simple. They just ask you, using surveys and interviews. Then it gets smarter. AI starts reading your words, analyzing the emotion in your reviews and social media posts. Next, they watch your clicks, literally tracking your mouse movements to see if a website is frustrating you. And finally, well, this is where it gets into sci-fi territory. They literally measure your body's physical response with things like facial recognition and eye tracking. It's wild.
Okay, so we've seen just how powerful our emotions are and the crazy lengths companies go to measure them. But what does all of this mean for you? For us, the consumers? What's the big takeaway here?
Well, here's the end game for all of these brands. Their ultimate goal isn't just to get you to buy something one time. Nope. It's to build such a strong emotional connection that you become a loyal, long-term fan. What they call maximizing your customer lifetime value. They want you for life.
But here's the good news in all of this. You are not powerless. Not at all. Simply being aware that this is happening is your single best tool. Just understanding that a brand is trying to make you feel nostalgic or create a sense of urgency lets you take a step back, take a breath, and let your rational brain get back in the game. And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. The next time you feel that powerful, irresistible urge to buy something, just pause and ask yourself, is this a logical choice or an emotional one? Who's really in control here? You or the story you're being told?